Overage, that's because of the consultants.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, great, that's cool.
Warren, you're with us, correct?
Should we turn the air off? So we don't hear that?
No.
Just this one.
All right, we're going to go with the continuation of the public hearing. Does anybody have any comments pertaining to the franchise contract with Cablevision? Warren, did you have anything else to add?
No, I think we're good. I've confirmed pretty much with everybody that the contract in its present form, which I sent, I think you have a copy of,
Yes.
is ready to go. So we can close the public hearing and take a vote on the resolution, which I prepared for you.
Warren, were we supposed to get some additional information? Or
No.
we were leaving it open so somebody could submit something?
Yeah, there really was nothing else that was pertinent to the contract that we received. I didn't get anything from the committee that was relevant. There are other issues outside of the contract that they may want to discuss with the provider. But as far as the contract is concerned, I think we're ready to go.
I move we close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Want to take care of this resolution right now, Warren?
Yeah, that's fine. You know, I may have made a mistake in the resolution and not indicated that it was closed tonight, but we can change that if that's when you.
Would you like to read this now?
The town board of the town of Pine Plains, resolution authorizing the town of Pine Plains to renew a cable franchise agreement with Cablevision System Dutchess Corporation to operate a cable vision system within the town of Pine Plains. Whereas the town of Pine Plains is a franchising authority in ordinance with Title VI of the Communications Act of 1934 and is authorized to grant one or more non-exclusive cable TV franchises pursuant to Article 11 of New York Public Service Law as amended, the Title 16, Chapter 8, Parts 890.60 through 899 of the official compliance of codes, rules, and regulations of the state of New York as amended, and whereas the town executed a cable franchise renewal agreement with Cablevision System Corporation or in about May 10th, 2011 for a term of 10 years, which was thereafter confirmed and made effective by New York State Public Service Commission. And whereas the cable franchise renewal agreement expired on January 25th, 2022, and franchise will continue to operate its system within the town pursuant to its rights under the federal law. And whereas franchise has submitted to the town a proposed franchise renewal agreement to continue operating in said system within the town. And whereas the town and the franchise has mutually agreed to the terms of said franchise agreement, renewal agreement. And whereas the town has determined the franchisee is and has been the sustainable compliance with all terms, provisions of existing franchises and applicable law. And whereas the town has determined that the franchisee has the requisite legal, technical, and financial capabilities to operate cable systems within the town, and the franchisee's proposals for renewal of the franchises meet the cable-related needs of the community. And a duly noted public hearing affording and opportunity for all those who are interested parties within the town to be heard on proposed franchise renewal agreement was held on the town on June 16th, 2022. Now,
Let's just amend that so it reads on June 16th, 2022 and July 21st, 2022, at which time the public hearing was closed.
and therefore be it resolved that the town board determines that it is in the best interest of the public to award the franchise renewal agreement to the franchisee. And be it further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to enter into a franchise renewal agreement with Cablevision Systems Dutchess Corporation and to execute any other documents necessary to effectuate the granting of the franchise renewal on behalf of the town of Pine Plains. The question of the adoption for the foregoing resolution was duly put to a roll call vote on July 21st, 2022, which resulted as follows. Supervisor Walsh.
Yay.
Councilman Ambrose.
Yay.
Councilman Bartles.
Yay.
Councilwoman Jones. Councilman Zick.
Aye.
So just for your information, the next step would be that once this is signed by both parties, it will go to the Public Service Commission for its approval. That could take some time. In the meantime, the existing agreement would remain in place. And then once we're notified by the cable company that it's been approved by Public Service Commission, the new agreement comes into effect. And it's my understanding that the Cablevision company has agreed that there are other issues not within the context of the franchise renewal agreement. I think 5G was one of them that they'd be willing to discuss at one or more meetings with the town board and other interested parties.
Thank you, Warren.
Okay, you're welcome.
Approval of minutes.
I have approval of the June 13th workshop minutes and the June 16th town board minutes and the acceptance of the town clerk's June report.
I move that we accept those as submitted.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Approval of bills.
I have approval of general bills number 19421 through 19472, highway bills number 19474 through 19495, and water district bills 3131 through 3135.
I move that we pay those bills.
Wait a second. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor statement. Thank you for attending the town board meeting tonight, July 21st, 2022. To be short, the hot season has hit us, and it has been brutal out there the last 2 days. So I ask everyone to stay cool, hydrate, and if you have elderly family members or neighbors, please check on them and make sure they're doing the same. In closing, stay cool. Public comment.
Pine Falls, West Shore Drive, beautiful Pine Falls. I just have three quick comments. I've been on a disabled list due to herniated discs for a couple of months, and I've been monitoring all of the meetings on YouTube. And I found that I had a lot of difficulty hearing comments from the audience, whether they were reports from department heads, what have you. And I thought it was me, but then I noted at last meeting, Warren Raplansky commented he was having the same problem. So I figured I was in good company. So I was wondering if maybe an additional microphone could be put in, or consult with some AV specialist, find out how that could be corrected. I don't think that's a big thing to do. Secondly, I was wondering about the email newsletter updates. I brought it up in a January meeting. At that time, I was told that that would be something that would go back into effect in the near term. And I know it's a new board and that. And then I guess it was in March or early April that I was told that I had to register, anybody wanted an email, how to register with the secretary, which I did do. And I haven't heard anything yet. What's the plan for that? And lastly, since the fall of last year, I think it was November's meeting, I haven't heard anything about the Hudson Valley project. Is that once again on the back burner? Or what's the current status of that?
The Hudson Valley project, you're referring to the Durst project, correct?
It's what?
You're referring to the Durst project?
Yes.
Okay, it's on hold right now. Durst pulled the reins on it and they're holding off right now.
For an
Because-
indefinite amount of time?
They did not give a time frame. They just said for right now. Anybody else? Yeah. There will be a newsletter. I am trying to get around to it.
Okay, and also, if on the agenda, there's a public hearing, if it could be stated what it's about, just because that would be helpful. You know, look at the agenda.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Can I just add one thing?
Absolutely.
Brian mentioned the temperatures and things like that. Is there any need that anyone knows of that we should be opening up the community center as a cooling station? Has anyone heard anything, or is there any?
There has been other towns that have opened them up, but the volume hasn't.
Okay, warranted.
Yeah.
Okay.
These last 2 days have been the worst out of.
If you know of anybody, just please let us know.
We can open that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, ethnic liberty. We haven't had a big increase according to Alexis in the library traffic, but the only day we're not open is Sunday, so that would be the only day.
So it is there and
But yeah,
it is
so we,
open. Right?
yeah, put it out on the Facebook page so people would know they can drop by.
I think if we can find volunteers, maybe open up on Sunday.
Well, I was wondering if there was a demand.
Yeah,
You know, if
I
there's anybody, but I mean, it would be the upstairs that we open,
Yeah.
not just the library downstairs.
yeah, I think that if you were to do the community room, at least I don't think there's a demand when the library's open. I think that the only day
Right.
when it's really hot would be Sundays, because we're not open. That's the only demand that I've. And it's not that much, but
Everybody's at all restaurants and bars. I don't have to. Art is-
This place is bad. Anybody have anything else? Town attorney's report, Warren?
Is Ray here?
Yes.
Okay, so we have the March, and the name is MARSH, I believe. I think we spelled it incorrectly. Drainage easement that will be deeded to the town if the town board approves it. So we're not granting anything. We're accepting an easement that's necessary for road improvement work and drainage work. And I'll let Ray better explain it to the town board, and he can answer any questions that the board may have about the project.
So the owner of the parcel has a barn that's located very close to the roadway, and adjacent to the barn is an existing cross culvert that conveys stormwater from the roadway across the road, and then actually currently discharges adjacent to that barn. What the owner wants to do is, while they're doing renovations and upgrades to the barn, they want to be able to extend that culvert pipe, so all of the drainage extends beyond the footprint of the building and into an existing field. So all improvements, including the installation of a catch basin and extending the pipe, is all owned by the developer or the owner, the property owner in this case. And the only thing that we're requesting, again, since it is tied to the existing town drainage system, is that there be a 20-foot wide easement there, so that way it would be dedicated to the town, and the town could make any future improvements or repairs on that drainage work. We found in the past that that's not always been done. It becomes problematic anytime a culvert becomes plugged, and we have to then gain approval approval or comments from the board. So the owner currently is working on final details. So what I would request of the board tonight is at least in concept, agree to allowing that easement to be signed until, but not have the supervisor actually sign that easement until the final documents are put in place. And the easement currently is being reviewed by the property owners.
Helene Marsh, the owner, is here tonight.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
It's been helpful in the past to include the right to discharge stormwater. Is that included?
Yes, it is. Correct. So the way that the way that the
They
easement.
can't hear back there.
I was just saying that it's, in the past, it's been very helpful. If is it included within the easement is the right to discharge water. Not only just the allocation of the land, but the right to discharge stormwater. So just.
And that language is contained within it.
Okay, so it's hard, one thing that might be helpful, I mean, I'm anticipating that in the next month or two, hopefully I'll be able to come out to the town board meetings, but if the problem is that when the members of the audience speak at the back of the room, it really is hard to hear them on Zoom. I don't know if they came up and spoke into the microphone, if that would help or not. So just a thought, but it's a common problem. We have it in other towns also. So on this issue, all we need, the resolution is passed. So all I need is a motion to adopt the resolution with the change in the spelling of the name of the property owner.
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's done. Ray, you'll take care of that, getting everything signed.
Yes, I'll get together with the owner. Thank you.
All right.
You want a roll call on that, Warren?
Yeah, might as well.
Supervisor Walsh,
Yay.
Councilman Ambrose,
Yay.
Councilman Bartles,
All right.
Councilwoman Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Zick.
The other matter is that I just received the other day the draft of the solar law and the cannabis law from our BFJ. So that's been sent on to you. What I need to do is to take that work that was done by them and convert that into a local law format, which I'll do for the next town board meeting. But in the meantime, if you want to take a look at the substance of the two laws, if you have any comments, get them on to me. Once I put it into local law format, I do have the part 1 of the EAF. I don't know if it has to be revised. It's a few months old. Then I would prepare the resolution, setting it down for a public hearing and forwarding on to the planning board for its comments and to the Dutchess County planning for their comments. So hopefully all this will be ready for you by the August meeting, and we're going to move forward with finally with the solar law and the cannabis law. Any questions about that? Okay. Drew had an issue. Drew, did you want to raise that when you give your report? I don't know, or not.
Do it now.
I had a complaint from a resident regarding election signs. And it's something I haven't really dealt with in the past. Our law says that they cannot be put up more than 30 days prior to an election. And it's something that happens in this town all the time. So I don't really know what to do with it. I mean, the amount of violation that's taking place is pretty broad. So I'm not really sure how to handle it.
Well, this year has been problematic because of different election dates and a special election in August. And my inclination is not to do anything about it at this point in time. That's just my inclination. There's so many, and they're quite irritating, but I just don't see putting you in a position of enforcing that. And there's a piece of it that's a First Amendment piece that I'm pretty sensitive to, so.
I agree with you.
I agree.
Okay, I want to make sure the board's aware, that's all.
Yeah, thank you
Because
very
I
much.
mean, in a sense, I'm
Yeah.
technically not the job.
I know, but now you have the authority of the board.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for raising it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, Warren?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole issue of sign laws is now a real can of worms because of a recent Supreme Court decision, not that recent, it's a few years old now, that has called into question many of the sign laws that we have in municipalities, which we've grown to accept as valid. And probably the most problematic has been the issue of campaign signs and enforcing them. And my recommendation would be to exercise proper discretion, we call it prosecutorial discretion, and not deal with that issue at this time until we can get some clarity to the laws and maybe fix some of the aspects of the law, including those relating to political signs. So yes, I agree with not doing anything at this point.
Very good.
You have anything else, Warren?
Yeah, let me just see. I think that's it. You had asked me to look into the issue of the food truck local law. It's hard to find them. Not many municipalities have them, but I did find one. So I'm going to send that on to you. It's very complex. I'm not sure that we want to get into the business of regulating food trucks unless it's a real problem. But I'll send it out to the board members just so you can see what they've done in another town. And if it's something that you want to pursue, we could discuss it at the next board meeting. I don't think we have to go in executive session tonight. I do have a tax certiorari case, which is pretty close to being settled, but not quite. So there is some, I don't want to bring it to you until I've negotiated further with the other side. So I think we'll be in a position for the next board meeting to possibly approve a settlement in the pending tax certiorari case. I'll keep you informed. And that's all I
Thank you,
have.
Warren. Thank you. Thank you. Department reports, highway. Operations at the highway department have been going smoothly. The highway crew has been busy blacktopping as the 2022 road projects have been underway. Mike Coons has been a great help in organizing and keeping operations moving forward. This is from Karen, the secretary. She said we'll need to go out to bid for 2023 materials. So she needs our approval for the legal notice to be published.
That's it.
I'll make a motion. For legal notice.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Building inspectors report.
Report for the month of June, 12 building permits issued, bringing the total to 55 for the year. 7 new homes for this year. 5 certificate occupancies for June, and 2 certificate occupancy searches. 21 site inspections for the month. As you can see from down below, 55 is a pretty large number considering the highest in the last 10 years has been 35. So it's a busy year to say the least. I have one property in town that hasn't complied with the property maintenance law. Out of state, out of state homeowner. He's acknowledged the order of compliance. I can't get anyone to do it. We have the authority to mow the lawn and back charge it. So I think we need the procedure to do it. It's the person.
Can't hear you.
that's something we can have Bobby Lee do, because he has all the equipment.
The only problem with that, I think, is you wouldn't be able to, how would you back charge his time? Because he's actually being paid an hourly, just bill it out however long it takes him.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it would be best for
I
the
don't,
homeowner.
I don't have a problem with it.
that's fine.
Yes, we both. It's up to you.
That's got one person.
No, I got it. I got you. Where do you want to put it out to bid to other people?
I think in the future, we ought to try to get a list of, some, in advance, we should get some contractors out there who we can just pick from.
Go down through the list, rotate the list. Yeah.
I would like to, I think what we need to do in the springtime, come up with a property maintenance list. And in the fall, let's come up with a list for sidewalk maintenance. That way we have that issue, we can get that taken care of.
Exactly.
Okay,
But otherwise, I feel like I'm out there trying to get this done, and if they won't do it, I'm like.
that's good. I have a question for you.
Sure.
We had quite a few new homes being built, right? Are any of those homes using geothermal heating systems, putting geothermal systems?
Couple of them are, yes.
Okay, because I really think that we should be encouraging that. I don't know that we should make a law about it, but that should really, in today's world, that should be really encouraged. So I'm just curious about that.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you, Drew. Drew, can you just hang around for the end of the meeting?
Sure.
Go into executive session, please. Water Department.
The monthly report was submitted to the Department of Health. Our flows remain fairly high at 56,000 gallons per day. I have been conducting leak detection surveys through various portions of the distribution system, but unfortunately, as of yet, I've not been able to find any leaks. It did drop slightly since we started getting a little more rain. So it dropped by roughly 5,000 to 6,000 gallons per day. So we'll see if that actually sustains itself. Water meter maintenance, 7 water meter heads were replaced after the last meter readings were taken. There's also 1 meter that was rebuilt. I have ordered and then received the case of replacement. So this will be the second case that we've gone through this particular year. So again, keep in mind, those meter heads were 14 years old. We definitely got our useful life out of them, but I think that trend's going to continue for the next year or so until we get them all swapped out. Utility markouts, there were 5 utility markouts that were performed this past month. I am working with a property owner on Bethel Place regarding low pressure issue within their building. Unfortunately, I'm not able to locate the actual curb shut off on the service line. I was hoping to be able to shut the water off so that way we can take the meter out and see if there's something inside the meter or see if there's a plumbing issue. Unfortunately, their main shut off inside of their building is also rotted, and we can't turn that and close the water off there either. So I am going to have to go ahead and put it in a new. So we hope to get that done in the next week or so. Then hopefully determine the cause of that. The second quarter bills for 2022 were sent out in June. We included the notification of the new policy associated with the billing and the fact that all bills will be mailed to the property owner and not to the tenants. And then in addition to that, we provided a copy of the annual water quality report. A copy of the water quality report is also located on the website. In addition to that, I provided a draft of the proposed 2023 budget for the town supervisors. A late item that came in just over the past couple days, and I just received an email today, was from a property owner located within the district complaining about a high water usage and a high bill. This past quarter, she had used approximately 130 gallons of water in the past quarter, and her bill was $645.60. In the past, based on past records, past billing history, she traditionally has only been using anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 gallons per day, and only having to pay the minimum of $41.50. She has indicated that she did have a plumber come into the basement, at her own expense, and to check for any leaks, which they were only able to find a small, as she calls it, a drip, but nothing that would accumulate to that type of a volume. So she's requesting or trying to dispute the charge of that work. I have gone out since the time it was reported to me. I actually did an additional reading 2 days ago. And I did a reading and compared the reading from when the last meter reading was taken, which was at the end of June, from a couple days ago. And right now she's only averaging about 85 gallons per day. So if there was a leak, it's subsided and she's back to meet that target of roughly 4,500 to 5,000 gallons per floor. What I requested the town board is for me to continue to do a little more investigation. Actually speak with the plumber, find out what type of repair was done. She did indicate that she had a water softener installed. Whether the water softener was hung up and it was discharging and backwashing continuously, I just want to do a little more research and then report back to the board. In the interim, I'm requesting, since the bills are due by August 1st, and then there's a late fee after that, I'm requesting that the board at least consider waiving that late fee until we can get this resolved.
I make a motion that we waive the late fee.
All in favor?
Aye. So I'll report back to the board once I do more research. and some more on this. Anything on water? Here. Actually, one item on water. The town supervisor received a proposal from CPL regarding the proposed water improvement. So this ties in with the potential of doing a water line replacement along Route 82. And I know the town had considered utilizing the ARPA funds for it. I also recognize that the town is undertaking the culvert project. That's going to be significant, cost as well. So I'm not sure if the town has really looked at or determined what type of allocations it's looking to make for each one of the projects.
I would say no, not at this point.
The proposal is for the design of the entire water improvement from 199 down to Railroad Avenue, which they can move forward with that design. And if you would put it onto the shelf, the town can always go ahead and split that project up into a smaller project, such as going from Route 199 down to Smith Street. So again, if you're funding multiple projects through ARPA in part, recognizing that there's also going to be bonding requirement as well, but in order to minimize the impact, we can reduce the overall scope of that project to maybe just go from 199 to Smith. But I think it'd be good for us to get together, town board, myself, and take a look at the numbers in addition to this other project to then make that determination of how you want to try to allocate those items, along with any other project or program that you want to fund your ARPA. I want to try to do that maybe the next week.
Yes. Yep.
And by then, I believe we're going to be trying to go out to bid for the.
That's going to be determined.
Okay. Because that way we'll be able to get a better.
Yep.
Engineering wise, working with the highway department on a few driveway permits, assisting them. In addition, working with them on Poplar Avenue, there's a cross culvert that needs to be replaced at the intersection of Poplar and Stissing. And I'm going to be working with them. We're going to take some spot elevations along that ditch line to make sure that there's enough grade to do that installation. It's very flat, and my concern is they were originally going to increase the pipe from the 12-inch to an 18. My concern is that if we increase that, we have to provide the necessary cover for that pipe. So that's going to put that entire structure slightly deeper. We may not have the grade to go ahead and actually get it to discharge. So I don't want to create another ponding problem or another. So I spoke with Mike about it. Mike actually does have the equipment. So we're just going to go ahead and run a level run and see. Once we do that, we know we can go ahead and install. I met with the contractors at Stisson Farms. They are continuing with their construction there as far as the units. And they hope to pave the lower portion for. Do you recall the lower end? Four units on the lower end. They hope to pave that lower section by the end of next week. So I met out with them, looked at the grades, looked at utilities and so forth, and took a look at the subgrade, and they are in the process of still preparing that. Schedule is to have that at least binder be constructed. That's it for.
Under that engineering, you guys received the
Yes,
culvert plans. George was asking permission to send that out to bid. Do you want to hold off on that? What's everybody's thought on that?
Send it out to bid so we know if we can use it or not, right?
why don't we send it out?
Do we have a cost?
I don't believe there was.
I believe it's early correspondence to the town.
I thought there was one.
My apologies, I don't recall what that number was. There was a preliminary, again, granted, it was very preliminary at the time, but there was a.
Well,
Again, keep in mind, even if the board does receive bids, the board always has the opportunity to reject them.
Yeah, sure. I think we should. I am making that motion.
In a second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recreation Department.
For camp, our camp director would like us to hire Greg Starzik. The supervisor Walsh has an email from camp director Chase. She has had issues with staffing, and there's a certain amount of supervision required. This individual had worked for the camp in years past, and they'd like to hire that individual to pick up some extra shifts.
He will be used as a formal camp substitute, so he will just fill in for anybody that calls in.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
That'll be at a rate of $13.20 now. So we got a first, we got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then I just want to say the beach has been running pretty smoothly with Jen Blackburn as our new beach director. And I have to say it's probably the cleanest and most organized I've seen it since I've been director in 2019. It's been incremental changes, but the issues we've had in the past with the geese and stuff like that seems to have really subsided with the amount of care the current staff we have is put in there. And so I just wanted to bring that up. Just like any organization around us, you know, we only have 3 lifeguards, so we're kind of at the mercy of their schedule and availability when it comes to the beach being open. And that's a problem areas around us have. But so far with what we have, it's been going really well. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new certificate. Continuing education.
Everybody received the animal control report.
Survival, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on.
Police Department.
Officer Camper filling in for IOC Sergeant Hughes. Police report, court hours, full 15, patrol, 151 hours. Discovery, Addie, 37. Investigation, 1 hour. School, 12 hours. Detail, 48. Vehicle and color, 27, for a total of 291 hours. Complaints answered, 10. Fire and EMS, 4. Accidents, 3. Traffic warnings, 38. Traffic tickets, 40, for a total of 95. The last page for continual reports. OIC Sergeant Hughes and Sergeant Belfo attended meeting at the 911 center. Topic was active shooters protocols. OIC Sergeant Hughes attended the meeting with the Dutchess County Chiefs Association. OIC Sergeant Hughes, Officer Cameron, and Officer Barada provided traffic control for high school graduation. OIC Sergeant Hughes, Sergeant Belvo, Officers Cameron and Barada provided traffic control for triathlon and triathlon.
So September 19th, we're planning on bringing Community Day back, and we were supposed, September 10th, my bad, September 19th is my golf tournament, my bad. So September 10th, and we were wondering if the police maybe had, if you were, just to be around the center of town, or just to help us out in case there's traffic or anything like that. September 10th. 10 to 4, 8 to 4, 8 to 5, something like that. We're still trying to lock down. We're still trying to lock down times. We're still in the brainstorming stage and starting to.
That will provide.
Beautification Committee, go ahead, Vicki.
We're just, this really is really not the beautification committee, but it is park committee. We are trying to finally finish that. We're down to 3 things. So, 3 bills from our landscaper, which when we thought we had the money, so the work was done, but thanks to Brian, we've taken care of those. We still need a plaque. Plaque has been worked out. We're working on that. We're going to order it and get it back. So for Community Day, we'd like to do something at least on Community Day for this family. And there was one other thing, some maintenance, which will close up the park, and then from now on, everything for the park will be considered through the beautification committee. So we have pretty much everything wrapped up, and hopefully within a week or so, it will be done.
So what they're requesting is the plaque was $510 and the full cleanup was $400. So they're requesting $910 to close that out.
I'll make that motion, and that's the last of the bills for you guys.
For the park committee, yes.
Yes.
I'll
second that. All in favor?
I just want to thank the park committee for the job that they've done, and I think the park looks really lovely. And it was a very large undertaking. Thank you so much.
Is that it, Vicki?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Old business, I just wanted to touch, which the library's here as well. They pulled the tanks at the library. They noticed some bubbling in the paint underneath in the powder coat. That leads us to believe that they powder coated them when there was oil still on the tanks. So new tanks were priced at $6,000 each. There's 2 of them. However, they're going to send these out and have them refurbished for $1,700 each. They'll last longer than all of us. About 3 to 4 weeks return time on that. So they haven't forgotten about anything, but that's why they haven't been there recently. So the tanks are on their way to Pennsylvania. Anybody else have anything on their old business?
Ray, did you check with Rhinebeck about the
Tie and bond is
tie and
far.
bond, right? Excuse me.
I did, so I did speak with Erin regarding that. And again, her recollection and recommendation was that until the town moved forward and had further discussion or negotiation regarding the purchase of the property or acquisition of the property or the wastewater, that the town not proceed with that map plan report. Because without that property, the map plan report is no good, and you'd have to find another location, and you'd have to revise the map plan report accordingly. So she was actually trying to save the town some money and not do it until that was better solidified as far as that parcel.
Warren, did you hear that?
No.
We were talking about taking bonds with the, moving on with the map plan report for the sewer system. I'm talking to the microphone, not to you. Did you hear that?
Do we have the map plan and report?
No, what we're waiting for, Ray will get closer to the microphone and explain it.
Yeah.
Hi, Warren.
Hi, Ray.
So last time I spoke with Erin Moore at Ty and Bond, she indicated that although she did receive the authorization from the town board to proceed with the map plan report, she was very hesitant to do so in light of the fact that the town had not obtained the parcel, or at least negotiated with the owner any type of an agreement to secure that land for the sewer plant. And the
That's
concern that
correct.
she had,
Yep.
the concern that she had is that if she did continue with the map plan report, and if that piece of land was not obtained, the map plan report obviously would not be any good, and they would have to revise it. You would have to find a new location, and it would be basically a waste of money. Those are my words, though, those weren't hers, but she was trying to, be a little cautious and wanted to save the town money until such time that at least the town had a better understanding, that they were actually able to secure that land from the church.
Right.
So that being said, her recommendation was to at least start or reopen those negotiations and see if there could be some traction that could be gained regarding the acquisition.
Sure, I can do that. I can contact the archdiocese. That's the property. We're talking about the archdiocese property.
Correct. Yes, that is the parcel.
Yeah. Does she have a draft of the map plan? How far along is she on that?
She did, actually, she's indicated that she hadn't started on it because she has the feasibility, which outlines the area of the proposed.
Okay, but
land
doesn't have the
Um,
map plan report.
Correct, but she said that there's enough information as far as the area that would need to be secured in that preliminary report that where the town could hopefully negotiate with the landowner.
Sure.
But again, she did not want to start on the map plan report until, that was at least, further negotiations have taken place.
Okay. Yeah, could she send me something in writing on that? Just give me an update on where she is and what her recommendation is. I will get back in touch with the archdiocese attorney. But I'm just concerned that she's not going to have alternatives. It's only, is she preparing the map plan report with one property, am I?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was, she had already anticipated or provided for alternatives in the feasibility report.
In the feasibility.
And then it was agreed upon to pursue the concept of the core area of the hamlet and then put the plant in the area of where the archdiocese land is.
Yeah.
But again, she has not proceeded with that as of
Okay.
yet, as far as formal map plan.
Okay. I'll get in touch with her also, but if she could just send me a note outlining her concerns, and then I will speak to her and then talk to the archdiocese to see where we are. I mean, I understand her concerns, but I'm a little concerned about the way she's approaching the negotiation, but let me deal with that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll send her an email, carbon copy you and carbon copy the supervisor.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
Beth, did you want to speak about the library key situation, camera situation?
Yeah, so we've had kind of a weird incident. I think we sent a note over Alexis and reported it. So there's been 2 instances in the last week where someone has been getting into lobbying of the community, the building, not into the library, and they're attempting or are setting the alarm. They're going into the alarm box and setting it. We don't know who has access. We have set up a security camera because of all the problems with people forgetting to lock the door when they use the community room, things like that. that aims at the door. But when the cleaning crew came in, they had locked it, so we couldn't see if there was anything that would have triggered who we might find in there. But we clearly have someone who is getting into the lobby and messing with the alarm box. And so, we're making a plea with the cleaning crew to not block the camera. And, we'll just keep trying to check on it, but it's a little bit disconcerting that someone has to keep the building. They haven't seemed to have gone anywhere else. That key most likely doesn't get them into the library, but they potentially could take, the elevator upstairs. There's technical equipment, there's things that they could mess with. There's an oven. So not a comfortable situation. So we'll just keep posted.
And we did I talked to Amanda and I put a note on the alarm. I did check with Hudson Delivery. They have a note on their system not to mess with the alarm, but it's deactivated and we keep it deactivated. So I did check with them on that, and I believe it happened on Friday, if I'm recalling correctly, and we didn't get delivery that day anyway. But I did put a note and taped it, don't touch it. And I think one of the questions that came up at the board meeting was, do we know if the keys got changed?
Yeah, I was questioning whether we changed the locks on the building from the time that it was foreclosed and then reopened again. Because if we hadn't, or the bank hadn't, then people who previously had access to the building would still have access to the building. So I don't know what due diligence was done by either the bank or when the town required the building as far as changing locks. And the only other suggestion that we might have is if we put a keypad lock on where you gave out a code, then we would know who's coming and going instead of managing the key situation. So, if we gave out a code for someone to use it on Saturday afternoon, it's good from noon until 5 and then it deactivates. So if we're considering changing the locks, that could potentially be a advantageous way to go. Right now it's a little creepy.
We're having a lock situation where basically all the buildings, including down near the beach. So what I think we need to do is actually bring in a key company for exterior doors, and then we can regulate it better on what's issued and when it's issued and what type of key is issued.
We had this discussion about changing keys and limiting keys and everything else since the town took it over, when Brian Coons was supervisor.
That's what I thought.
Right, and we really had restricted keys at that point, but it's kind of just going a little bit crazy.
I had a quick.
You go.
Okay, sorry. The other question that I had that is now evading my brain. Actually, you go ahead.
So off the top of my head, I have a key to the building. I haven't utilized it at any point recently, and I'm not even. I have to be honest, I wasn't aware there was an alarm code. So if it's ever been a silent alarm and went off, then that would probably be me. The only other person that I know that has building access, I'm not sure if you talked to them, would be the person who runs our wrestling program, Tom Strudwick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have talked to him at all about it yet, but they would probably utilize that main lobby and then go down into the basement to do the wrestling stuff. But I don't think he's ever set the alarm before or would know the code. So
Yeah, they go in all the time, but right now they're not using the library.
yeah, that's what I mean.
basement,
That was the
yeah.
only thing that popped into my
It's
head.
their off season.
But he would be the only one with the key, as well as myself that time.
I'd say we just get on.
Let's get, I'll get a hold of Best Keys, the same system that's used in school,
That's a great idea.
and have them come up and all exterior doors, including your building, all the way across the board. Get a price on
That
changing the locks over.
I would like that for rent too.
Yeah.
All town, and they can cover padlocks as well for down there.
I'll second that if that's a motion.
And then as people go out, if you have to change stuff around, there's a cord key. You can just change the cords out, which you're not replacing the whole lock. So it's just cheaper in the long run.
So I remember now. We had talked about this previously, but while we're redoing the keys, that one door to the library sticks, especially in this heat and the humidity, and the library staff knows how to do it. It's very hard to explain to other people who come use the space and they don't know how to do it. You have to slam basically the lock in and reach up at the top and flip the latch down. Otherwise it gets jammed and it doesn't lock properly.
When they change the keys, it's just a change in the locking mechanism at the top. It's the top stripe.
Okay. I
They can
didn't
look at
know
that
if
as well,
maybe we could, yeah, do that. at the same
because
time.
they'll probably want to change the handle out on
Okay.
that door.
Great, that was my call, because I think that that's probably some of the issue as well, is that it just,
Yeah.
it's a tricky door.
If you're under 5'6", you can't lock the door.
Yeah,
All right, so I have Walsh making the motion to have the key company come in. I have Zick seconding, and I need all in favor.
Aye.
Right.
Okay.
New business.
Community Day, September 10th. We have a group of us that are, if anybody else wants to chime in on this, but we have a group of us trying to get a community day together with some music, some breakfast, some lunch. All the, some businesses in town are, participating as well, but just to get the word out and get people, kind of excited about it, and Grand Brush tour, stuff like that.
Have we set a date for town cleanup date?
No, we should
Because we
look at a calendar. It should be, well,
We don't
problem
want
is
it
the
to-
week,
we want it-
before, it's gonna be, I wanted to do it before their community day. The week before is Labor Day weekend, so
That's out,
that's out.
that's out.
So it'd have to be it would have to be the weekend of, last weekend of August, or the 17th.
Okay, we should decide on that.
17th, that's the third weekend there. Everybody's back to school already.
Stevie?
Are you going to have a parade for the event too, or is it just?
No parade, like music at some of the porches at the VFW.
Yeah, it'll probably just be like a higher traffic kind of day.
pedestrian.
Yeah.
They want to do a bunch of different events, nothing.
Well, I just wanted to know because usually we ask like the fire department to help us block off roads if there was gonna be a parade event.
No, just mainly trying to utilize the downtown square.
Yeah, just awareness of pedestrians, like, foot traffic.
And I have talked to Ranfort about the brush fire.
Yeah, okay.
So hopefully, I've asked him for within August.
Perfect.
Do we want to set the date for the cleanup day, the 17th? This way we can start asking Roberta and maybe try to get the electronics people, the shredder there, you know what I mean? If we
Yeah.
get too much notice, does that work for everybody?
I move to make the September 17th the cleanup day.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Beth sent over a approval of Claire Gunning for position of the board, for library board. Can I get a motion on this?
Make a motion to accept that.
I get a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Need approval to make a transfer from account number 13204.01 into account number 31204.01.
Can you tell us what those are?
Give you the numbers again.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
It wasn't on our list, 13204.01.
What's you're gonna have to tell us, what is it? From which to which?
I just gave you the numbers. I don't have that on that. What she gave me.
How much?
That's right there.
32 for independent. To put to rec. So it's going from the independent auditing to playgrounds and recreation. Correct.
These are the numbers Corinne gave me, so.
That's that one, right?
Oh, it's going off the ones on the back.
You're going off the wrong number.
Uh-huh.
1, 3. I don't know where she got the number from.
You know what? You gotta have a you gotta have a name on those numbers.
Yeah, we need.
We need,
She messed this up. We can't.
we
do
need a
this.
name on the
Yeah.
numbers.
Those
We
numbers
really
aren't
can't
right.
do that.
Because that's the best I can do. Where it came from.
I can't give you an answer on that.
So,
The court has, Justice Hummiston sent up a, request that he'd like to hire Corinna Frenzel as a court clerk finance part. Her start date would be tomorrow, July 22nd, at an annual salary of $3,600 per year based on a 10-hour worked per month.
And I assume that is in addition to the work she's doing here
Correct.
for us. I move that we authorize that hire of Corinna to do work down there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have the charge in there for the fingerprint.
Yeah, I figured that out already.
She had to clear that part before she can even be offered. I believe that's all we have. Does anybody else have anything under new business?
executive session.
Yes.
Second,
All in favor?
are we gonna
No.
take any action then?
No.
I bring us back from executive session
I'll second it.
All in favor?
and I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
There we
All in
go.
favor?
All
Aye.
right.
My
Thank
favorite
you.
part of the meeting, so I take it away to the end.
Oh,
If you need me,